Several rivers flow into the Thames in or around London. They include the Wey, Mole and Wandle, but the Lee that enters at Canning Town near Canary Wharf is a major tributary, finding its birth in the Chilterns, not far from Luton. The Lee is navigable as far as Hertford and the Stort towards Harlow. Taking a casual look at the Ordnance Survey map, I've got it spread out in front of me. When you look at the River Lee, the Lee Valley, then after leaving Hertford and Ware, it passes through countryside and enters an area around Hoddesdon, for example, going down to Cheshunt, though you do have Epping Forest on the other side. So there's great variety in the landscape. And there are nature reserves as well as industrial parks. There's even a gas-fired power station. So there's tremendous variety of sea level and overhead lines as well. You'll find a lot of those. But what I found striking is that in certain areas it was so quiet that you could hear birdsong. But there is plenty of adventure as well, as we shall see later, probably in the next programme. I am splitting the tour in half. The first covering Hertford to Waltham Abbey. Therefore, the White Water Centre, Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park and Three Mills will feature in Part 2. After Hertford and neighbouring Ware, waterside gardens here notable for their iconic gazebos, our tour is largely rural until Hoddesdon. My gym was a footpath, following the Lee from Hertford to Cheshunt and beyond, which I did in sections using Greater Anglia trains out of Liverpool Street to arrive. I travelled light, using only the OM5 and the 12-45 Pro lens. On one of my trips, I changed the lens to the 14-150, finding the additional zoom ratio beneficial. I don't carry a camera bag. Anything else is stored in a rucksack protected by bubble wrap. I have learnt the hard way and have had the operation twice, the surgeon saying that he didn't want to see me a third time. I mentioned the Stort, a tributary of the Lee, so I took the train to Croydon, which the laughing boys at home like to confuse with Croydon. Shame on them. Croydon couldn't be more different. It is an attractive village in Essex. I had an excellent pub lunch and, upon reaching the countryside, soon got lost and had to ask this chap the way. With busy roads and railways not far away, I was genuinely surprised how peaceful it was, and can understand why it is the haunt of canal boats, both temporary and permanent, the latter pleasantly decorated by in-house gardens and a bike to get around, no doubt for shopping. Later, it was this seemingly incongruous juxtaposition of river and industry that made the place visually fascinating. Bordering the Lee are several lakes and nature reserves, but one should find time to divert into Epping Forest to the east and Forty Hall and Middleton House Gardens to the west in the London borough of Enfield, conveniently accessed from Turkey Street Station on the London Overground, the area named from a brook that merges into the Lee. The county of Essex has acquired an unfashionable and inaccurate perception. It has many treasures, and one of them is Waltham Abbey, not far from the M25, where I conclude the first part of my exploration of the Lee Valley, as a foreigner from Surrey, living incidentally not far from Croydon. If you like churches, it has that wow factor for the photographer. It is of great historical interest. Formerly a monastery, suffering heavily at the dissolution, only the Norman nave is left as a parish church. It is here that King Harold sought blessing before the Battle of Hastings, and his body is buried here. The abbey increased in size as one of Henry II's penances for Becket's death, but it was never raised to the status of a cathedral, hence its downfall. But what is left is truly magnificent, and its interior is as glorious as any cathedral. In the second part of this programme, I will commence at Waltham Cross before visiting the Whitewater Centre and then going on to the Royal Gunpowder Park. Not quite sure what that is all about, but no doubt I will find out, and hopefully I shall be able to make my way down the river towards the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park, finally ending up at the confluence between the River Lee and the Thames. So, see you, I hope, in the next programme.